Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Chatty. We're back in London. We've cooled down, haven't we?
And we've woken up as well.
We've just about woken up. We've got over our jet lag. We've got over the humidity, and we're ready to have a little post-race chat about Putrajaya in Malaysia. First of all, I mean, it was a bonkers but brilliant race. I mean, it was fantastic to see Lucas di Grassi win kind of his first real race, because he won in Beijing, but you know that was because of a default through Nico Prost and Nick Heidfeld having that big crash, and then the win that he had in Berlin was kind of taken away from him because he was disqualified. So what an excited Lucas di Grassi.
Brilliant.
That's one of the maddest races I've ever watched.
Yeah, it was great to see him so excited to be victorious and to take the lead of the championship as well, which is fascinating because Sebastian Buemi, who was leading the race at the time, ran into software problems, and as a result he didn't finish in the point-scoring positions.
Buemi is slowing, the race leader, and has he run into problems for the Renault team? Unbelievable stuff.
Although he still got fastest lap and pole position. But with di Grassi now in the lead of the championship, it's going to be fascinating going forward.
It was almost looking like, though, Sebastian Buemi could have had another perfect race, because if he had won, he would have got another 30 points. But Sam Bird, I mean, what a result for him. I mean, I think he described it as carnage, but cool carnage, which I think is a pretty accurate way of describing it. But from 14th place to finish second on the podium is a good effort.
Yeah, absolutely. And Virgin are in a bit of a strange position because the car has got the pace. If you added up their best sector times over the course of the qualifying session, they'd have been sort of second or third on the grid. We saw Jean-Eric Vergne got through to the pole position shootout last time, but they're really struggling with the physical handling of the car, which was more present in the fast sweeping corners of Putrajaya than it had been on the straights and chicanes of Beijing.
Oh, that's deep in. This
Sam,
is Bird.
turn three. Oh, and hit the tyres on the way out. So that was turn three. So his lap was really Sam Bird's lap was compromised in three already.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to he properly whacked it there, didn't he?
Yeah, that's going to need a bit of rebuild before the race.
Here's Jean-Eric Vergne across the line. Are we going to see him go up towards the top two? Across the line comes Vergne. 9th and 10th for Vergne and Bird.
What happened?
A second down. The final sector for Jean-Eric Vergne, he lost 0.7 of a second in that final sector, Jean-Eric Vergne.
The DS Virgin guys will not be happy with that.
And so I think Sam Bird was absolutely elated, as you say, to finish.
He couldn't quite believe it. As also with Robin Frains as well. I mean, a guy who I don't know how he managed to keep control of that car. He was like a rally driver for the last few laps.
It was unbelievable, wasn't it? I mean, he stuck it in the wall at turn 10 and we thought the race was over. He thought the race was over. Came through turn 11, got a massive tank slapper on and was all over the shop, but somehow managed to save it and drive around and keep ahead of Stefan Sarazan, who started on the front row but then had to start at the back of the grid, and he came through to finish in 4th place. It was balmy.
Robin Frains goes through and he's up into 3rd. Sam Bird is up into 4th. Where'd he come from? Off goes Frains.
No.
Frains is in the wall. He might have just about got away with that potentially.
No, I think Duval has
his
hit,
front wing.
Look at Duval's left rear suspension. So he's done that. French has done the front wing.
Oh, the car's all over the place from Robin Frains. He's going to have to come into the pits, I think, as we go on board with him.
No.
No, the front wing is okay.
Look at the steering angle, though. Watch how much, when he gets in a straight line, watch how the right hand down the steering is.
But here he comes for Andretti to finish in 3rd position. And it's a 3rd place and a podium for Robin Frains.
And Robin's first podium in Formula E.
Yeah, exactly, for a second race, which is pretty impressive.
And with the old technology as well. That's the impressive part.
And now let's look at some of the tweets that you guys have been sending in. Thank you so much for your questions for Jack and myself. We're going to do our best to answer some of them. Now, the first one is from Armag, and he says, what are Trulli and Formula E going to do? Well, that is a very good question, because of course, if we just recap on the Trulli situation, they came out to Beijing, but parts of the car got stuck in customs, so they couldn't race there. And then in Putrajaya, they failed race scrutineering, so again, couldn't race. But hopefully, they're going to re-enter in time for Punta del Este. Do you think they'll make it?
There were encouraging signs in Putrajaya because when the the motors didn't arrive because they got stuck in customs in Beijing. There was a bit of sort of skepticism about whether the motors would even work, but they plugged them into the car in Putrajaya. The wheels were turning, but as Nicki says, it was one of the technical scrutineering tests that they failed. But fundamentally, they've got a motor that can turn the wheels, so that's a positive start. And if they can just get everything else up to scratch, then hopefully we'll see them on track in Punta del Este.
And speaking to them as well, they seem really committed. You know, they want to be there, so I can't see any reason to hold them back.
Next up is a question from Ahmed, and he asks for our thoughts on Putrajaya and how it can improve for next season. And frankly, Ahmed, it's one of the best tracks of the year. There's not much to improve as far as the circuit is concerned.
Do you think they can smooth out any of those bumps in the third?
No, but we like bumps.
Yeah, we do like bumps.
Bumps are the point. Bumps are
unless
what
you're Dragon and have broken your suspension on both cars.
Exactly. But this year, the teams are building their own rear suspensions, their own motors. It's all part of a rear end package. So if your suspension breaks this year, it's because you haven't built it strong enough to deal with the bumps, and I personally love bumps, and that's what street racing is all about. Absolutely,
which actually is an interesting question, because John mentions, what about the developments for the season? Well, speaking of the rear suspension there, it'll be interesting to see what the teams like Dragon do when we head to Punta del Este, because again, it's a track that we saw quite a few issues last year with the rear suspension. I think it was Jean-Eric Verne, Stefan Sarrazin all run into issues, so I wonder if they're going to have problems.
Potentially, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Punta del Este. But as far as the developments are concerned, the car is homologated. So Next EV TCR, for example, have got what seems to be quite a hideous solution to the powertrain problem, and they're really struggling, and there's not that much they can do going forward. They can't bring a new rear end and put it on the car, so they're going to be struggling throughout the year. The one place where teams can develop is the software and the electronic management and the power maps that they use in the cars, but the fundamentals of the car are all homologated and can't be changed.
And our next tweet is from Andrea, and she wants to know, what are we looking forward to about Punta? Well, that's an easy one. The beach?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's 12 seconds from my commentary box to the beach. So 12 seconds after we go off air, I'm on the beach, and it's absolutely wonderful. I think it's my favourite race of the season.
Absolutely. It has a wonderful, relaxed atmosphere about it. It's hot, but there's a nice breeze about it. And last year, we saw Jean-Eric Verne make an incredible debut performance on pole position. So I wonder who's going to do it again this time.
It'll be very interesting to see, won't it? And I think Jev will be determined to be back towards the front as he was. And the circuit's
He's
really
going to be one to watch, I think.
Absolutely.
In Punta.
The circuit's a great one as well. A lot of overtaking opportunities, couple of chicanes, some really fast corners. There's a sweeping left-hander at about turn 6 or 7 that is really impressive to watch the cars going through. So it's a fantastic venue, and we're all very much looking forward to getting there.
We are indeed. It's a shame we've got to wait so long.
Yes, exactly.
But in the meantime, you can, of course, download the new Formula E app if you haven't done so already, because that's the best way to keep up to date with all the latest news. We'll be uploading it with new content, videos, interviews, so make sure you do that.
And also, you can watch the live onboards during the sessions, which is it's
so cool. So cool.
Yeah. I was doing it in the commentary, but I was meant to be commentating, and you're going, oh yeah, there you are. But actually, I'm watching the live onboards on my phone.
I wondered what those long pauses were.
Exactly. You're like, busted!
Slacker. But it is an amazing app, so please make sure you download it. And also, guys, please make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. We're on all the different social media platforms, and keep up to date with all the latest news. And we'll see you very soon.
Yeah, see you in Punta del Este.
And he's up into third. Sam Bird is up into fourth. Where'd he come from? Off goes Freight.
No.
Freight is in the wall. He might have just about got away with that, potentially.
No, I think Duval has
No, his
hit,
front wing.
Look at Duval's left rear suspension. So he's done that. French has done